Is going.
He told me another story about how like he went to a bar and the bartender was like the bar was full, like it was one of the busy hours, and the bartender he walked up and she looks at him immediately and just helps him out, and like as she's giving him drinks and stuff for the table, he's just like she says to him, you know, "You're a very attractive man, do you know that?" And he looks her dead in the face like, "Thanks," and just walks away. Like, and he was like, he said he sat down and thought to himself, he was like, you know, that was probably her making a pass at me, but I just didn't give a shit about it at all. And I'm just like, yeah, you know, fuck you, because that doesn't happen to anybody in real life. In real life, it would have been, take your drinks and get out of my busy bar, you fuck.
But give me a good tip.
Yeah. No, the one I was going to say after that. Your sister on Facebook posted this thing where it was like, just black background, white text repeated 12 or 13 times, "I'm in a relationship, don't hit on me." And
yeah, I think like, Teresa
I was like, I really hate people who think that way.
Yeah.
Because it's like, do you wear a shirt? Do you have a ring? And if you have a ring, is it an actual wedding ring and not one of your weird promise rings? Because like, I know many women who wear tons of rings, and I know many women who will just wear rings for fun.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Even on the ring finger.
Yeah, even on the correct fingers, they will wear rings for fun. And it's just like...
I would be wearing rings, but my fingers got fat.
Well, it's annoying behavior, because it's like, how would somebody know?
Right.
Like, you're going to walk around with a big billboard sign on your head that just says, "I'm taken"?
We'll do it like...
That's why you say, like, if you get complimented, you'd be like, "Oh, thanks, my boyfriend thinks so too." And that's kind of like a...
Yeah, it's a slightly less subtle way to be like...
Just do it the Indian way, like, put a dot in your forehead and then... Everybody knows.
Dot.
You are here.
You are. Jeff Dunham. Fucking... No, yeah. No, that annoys me, though, because it's like... How else do you find out other than approaching somebody in the first place?
Yeah, you have to talk to them. That's the only way.
That, or you just never talk to anybody. You just sit there and you're like, "Gee, why am I single? I don't approach anybody. This is a mystery."
You stalk them on Facebook first. See if they're...
But then they bitch about that because they're like, "Oh, he looked at my Facebook." Well, what are you putting on Facebook you didn't want him looking at?
Right.
What's the point of Facebook then? Makes no sense.
At least it seems like a good majority of people will post like couple pictures on their profile picture.
Yeah.
So like that helps out a little bit, but it's not always the case.
Sometimes it's just friends. It's like,
But you have to get their name though. I mean, like you still have to talk to them.
That'd be creepy. Imagine a world where you could like take a picture of somebody and it would scan their face and find them on Facebook.
I mean, they already do that with Facebook. It's just not used for that purpose. But like, if you have like, if you and I take a picture, it'll be like, "Do you want to tag Emilio?" I'm like, "How the fuck? Like that's not cool."
Like, fuck you. Maybe he didn't want to be tagged. Maybe that's not him.
Maybe I don't want you to know that's my friend.
The thing I hate about Facebook Mobile is if you're like looking at pictures and you don't click perfectly the left or the right, if you click near a face at all, it'll be like, "Do you want to tag someone and yourself?" So like if you're ever like on a profile that's not even like a friend of yours, because you know people's Facebook.
Oh, you're talking about not the app version.
No, yeah,
like just the okay.
Because I'll be like scrolling through and someone I know will like somebody they know shit, and I'll click on the picture and then it'll be like their face gets popped up and it'll frame it and it'll be like, "Emilio, do you want to tag yourself?" And I'm like, "No, I don't know who that is. Like, I'm not going to tag myself on somebody else's Facebook. What are you asking me? That's weird."
Hovers over name. It's Emilio.
I wonder how long you can get away with just tagging yourself in random people's Facebook before they're like, "Who the fuck is this guy? Why is he tagging himself in every picture of me?"
I want to find this guy, and I want him dead.
Well, it was kind of like when you added that person on my Facebook, because that confused the shit out of me, because I was just like, they added me back. What do you mean back? Added me who? I don't know who that is. And you were like, "Oh yeah, I was scrolling through, I must have flicked it." And I'm like, I hate that. Like,
see, it popped up on hers, and I'm like, "No, back," and it...
Yeah. I mean, like, it happens. I've done that before where, like, I'll just be scrolling.
I think she liked a picture of what I was trying to scroll through, and it's like...
Well, because I've gone, like, through Facebook, I'll be scrolling through, and, like, as I'm scrolling, I'll, like, hit the like on just someone's, not even, like, my friends, just some bullshit, and I'm like,
I've done that too.
I don't want to like their crap, I don't know who they are.
Then it just unlike.
But you know they get that notification, that, like,
and then you click on it, and then it's like, it takes you nowhere, and you're like,
"What was that?
What the hell is it?" Oh, okay, somebody must have
done.
Because I've gotten that before. Like, somebody's commented on something, I click it goes to my picture, and there's no comment, and I'm like, what? Like, is this a glitch or something? And then it must have just been somebody commented, and it was just like, no, wait, I'm done. Nope.
They were like, no, shit, fuck,
just delete it.
I've always wanted to kind of like make a Facebook and just do like all the things that you're like are faux pas of Facebook, like just comment on anything or share other people's pictures like of just themselves, because like we share meme pictures, like I'll be like, share if you like this, or share if Jesus loves you and all that shit, but like I would love to just go around being like Katie's profile picture, bam, shared, like just anybody's anything, just share their shit, but not like do it meticulously on everybody, just at any time, like scroll through Facebook, I like pick 3 images a day or some shit, be like share, and I'm like, why is he sharing that?
You can do that anyways because you don't have a big presence on Facebook.
So. I mean, yeah, that's true. I could, but like, I don't know. I do that with likes as is. Like if I scroll through and someone posts a picture where I think they look nice or where like they make me laugh, I'll be like, oh, I like that. That's funny. And I feel like that already is too much. Like I feel like me because
but that's the purpose of it.
You would think
there's like people on Facebook that like almost every single every single like post.
Yeah. But so here's
like
ex's brother posts or likes everything of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. See that?
He's just everything. Like I post something totally out of the blue and he's like I'm like, dude, I just put this up like 2 minutes ago. How did you already like this?
I think though, like
I
did something like that, but
like that.
Yeah. So someone posted like they were like, oh, I just made Snapchat. Everybody can add me, and I was just like, I use Snapchat all the time. Why not? So I added them, and naturally, like, they don't know who I am. So I sent it with a message that was like, hey, I'm so-and-so, just so you know, I saw your thing on Facebook and figured, why not? And they sent me back a thumbs-up emoji and have yet to talk to me since and don't look at anything on it. And I'm just like I'm going to send them shit, and I'm like, you know,
just like, it's fine. A black abyss.
Yeah, it's kind of what's happening. It's just being thrown into an abyss of shit. And I'm like, that's fine. Like, you don't have to talk to me. You're not obligated by any means. But, like, I just feel like that attitude of, like, oh, anybody can have it. And then the moment you, like, someone utilizes that, they're like, oh, why did they take it? Like,
well, like, it could be like, hey, you know, I just made Snapchat, you know, add me or blah, blah, blah. And then they're just like, don't use it.
That's true, too.
I mean, it could be just like...
And it could be, but it feels like...
Yeah,
it's hard to tell,
what you mean.
You know, because it's just like, you don't know.
Or it's like, here's my cell phone number, add me or something. Or,
I never do that, because I know that's full of shit.
Yeah.
I know they're lying. Like, as soon as someone posts their Facebook, like, their cell phone on Facebook, and they're like, got a new phone, you can add me if you want. I'm like, no. You're full of shit. You want the 7 friends that you talk to all the time on your phone to add you on your phone.
And potentially, like,
and maybe that one cute guy who's been taken for 2 years that you wanted it. Like, it's not me. It's not, like, you're not being like, oh, my actual Facebook friends. You're being like, these 8 people out of 262 Facebook friends can add me. But I'm going to make it public to make it weird.
Then you'll add them, and then you'll text them, they're like, oh, sweet. And then, like, you'll text them, like, a little bit later, and they're like, new phone, who dis?
Well, I'd done that with people who'd give me their phones to text them. Like, there'd been one time I was just bored, so I texted Sam Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking... She was just like, oh, who's this? Oh, my God. And I'm like... But she did that, like, every time. Like, I would text her, like, once a year some shit out of boredom, and she'd just be like, oh, new phone, who did this? I'm like, nobody gets new phone this often.
No.
Like, you're full of shit.
Nobody's that rich. New phones are expensive. Especially if you're going iPhone. Samsung can be still pretty expensive, though.
I just think it's weird. It's like, why... If you're going to take issue with somebody talking to you, why go that far to give them access to that venue?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that... If,
like,
it's
you
so
could just
easy
be like,
to not talk to somebody.
I would say, hey...
Got a new phone.
PM me if you want my
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Because I'm like...
As you would.
I don't want my phone on the internet.
Right.
I think I had mine in that little, like, info box thing for the longest time. I don't know if I still do or not, but it was like, you know, at the same time, I was like, I don't really know if I want my phone number in there, because, like, it's not only, like, people can talk to you, but, like, if any sort of advertisements gets a hold of it, because there's advertisers on YouTube,
right.
Facebook. YouTube, well, there's...
Get your phone number through YouTube. No, it's totally
Same
true.
Same with
though.
job. I don't have my work on Facebook.
There's a lot of people, like, I don't know, I don't mind putting, like, past stuff on there. I think that's okay, because it's like, I already was there, I'm not there now, so why does that matter so much?
I think I only have school on there.
Yeah, but, like, I don't put current stuff on there, because I'm just like, I don't need people stalking me for that kind of information. Like, if you want that information,
or
you just talk to me.
Or you don't need your work stuff.
Right.
Or any of that.
Well, that too. Being like, where are you at all hours of the day, and are you available?
What are you doing in your personal time?
See, I would be like, I would probably be screwed if I ever was at a place that was like stringent on showing up and stuff, because if they like were like called me in and I was like, nah, like, you know, I'm not available, sorry, because you know, they did that at the senior center occasionally. Like, people would be like, oh, you know, can you come in even though it's like 10 minutes before shift starts, and I'm like, no, sorry, I'm busy. But like, if
I usually went in, so I'm like, oh, I'm not busy, I guess.
well, usually if I didn't have work that day at all, like I knew I wasn't gonna have work, I'd usually be like, I'd wait until like maybe like a half hour ish before work, give it a little time, kind of see, because they always get there earlier. Like, the people are there from the 11:30, so if like someone's not going to show or if someone's going to cancel, I assume they're going to cancel like within that half hour. And it would be like, it always seemed like it was 5 minutes before shift starts that they would be like, hey, can you come in? And I'm like, why? Like, why can't you just call in earlier?
There was quite a few no-shows, though. Like, Alexa did it a lot. I'm surprised she didn't get fired.
If someone was like no-showing, I didn't mind going in. It's just sometimes I wasn't home, and if I wasn't going to be home in the first place, like, I wasn't going to be able to show up.
Well, and sometimes it was because Dawn had a allergic reaction.
Yeah.
And go home.
I remember that too. That did happen.
She's allergic to freaking sour cream.
I just remember all the time.
And we had sour cream. And
was it dairy or just sour cream?
Just sour cream. I didn't understand that either.
Weird.
She was very like, she was weirdly allergic to a couple things, because like, I came in one time and she had like her glove, like a glove on, and like I was like, what's that about? And she was like, oh, I touched a little sour cream because she was making like casserole or some shit, and there was like a little bit of it in there, so it irritated her hand, but she didn't want to like get anything else on it, so she was just like pushing through, and I was like, that's really weird.
That's like Jeremy is allergic to just pineapple.
Yeah, I remember learning about that.
Like, just pineapple. I'm like, you're not allergic to any other fruit?
No, a lot of people are.
That's weird. Never met anybody but Jeremy who's allergic.
Yeah, he's the only one.
In one of my Facebook groups, there's people.
Really? That's interesting.
It was funny too, because like, so like, before we were 21, my mom like made a drink, because my mom and dad occasionally had a drink like during the night, and it was like this kind of like blue Caribbean looking drink. So we're like, oh, cool, and that looks so sweet. And then mom was like, well, you can try a little bit if you want. And then we like took a sip. And then Jimmy's like, that's really good. What's in it? And she was like, this pineapple. And he's like, pineapple? He was like, And mom was like, why? What's wrong? He's like, do you guys have any Benadryl?
Like right now?
Like right now? Like, can I have it right now? Because otherwise my throat might close.
I had like...
Luckily that didn't happen. Or like, I had a friend come over, and we had Chinese, and he was allergic to shrimp. And we gave him an egg roll, and sometimes there's shrimp in egg rolls.
Jesus.
It was like, we've almost killed so many people.
When I was in my ancient civ class in high school, we had a project where, like... I know, it was a nice class. We had a project where they wanted you to do, like, research about, like, something cultural related to a civilization. Mm-hmm. And one of the options was you could actually bake food. Like, you could make something cultural. Okay. And I was like...
Yeah, you had to make something.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, you had to make, like, a structure. No, it was Trunk. Oh. Mr. Trump. Trunk? Trump.
Yeah, not Trump.
Not Trump. Trunk. Anyway. And...
That was 09.
That was 09. Like, you had to make something. Like, it was a structure or, like, obelisk or something to be like, oh, this is, like, semi... You could do arty stuff. But I was like, well, I suck at all that, and I can't really write a paper on any of that. And, my girlfriend at the time was like, hey, let's make baklava. And I was like, I have no idea what that is. And this is, just the thing I like making now. It's a lot of work, but it's tasty as fuck. It's tasty as fuck. And so, like, we were halfway through the presentation. I had the note sheet with all the information about it on there, but, like, people coming up and being, doing the immediate, what's this? Oh, wow, that's so cool, and leaving kind of shit. And, like, one of my other teachers, Mr. Hildebrandt, was my math teacher, was just down the hall from the room we were using, and I was like, oh, do you want to come in for some baklava? And he was like, what? And, I explained the situation, because he had that hour off or something, because he was just alone in his room doing paperwork. And so he came in and had a piece. He's like, this is really good. Did you make this yourself? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I did a good job. And he's like, yeah, it's a very good job. And then he was like, did you let everybody know? And I was like, let everybody know what? He was like, well, there's nuts in this. If they have a nut allergy, you need to let them know that there's nuts in it. And I was like, I mean, it's on the note sheet. Like, if you read my paper, it says there's nuts in it. Like, it talks about the recipe and what's in it. He's like, okay, that's good. And I was just like, nobody knew. Thank God nobody's allergic to nuts right now.
You just start seeing like a plague happen.
Yeah, just a bunch of kids
falling.
No, it's... I don't know, like, I felt bad about that because I was like, hopefully, and obviously it didn't matter. Like nobody got sick or anything.
Right.
It's just one of those things.
But the possibility.
Yeah, everybody was already eating it, and it's like that could have gone bad.
See, that's what I really liked in 7th grade. Mrs. Hall. We do like each chapter. We do like a feast of that type. So we'd have a bunch of food, and it was like medieval food and like Greek food. And
oh, okay.
It was pretty cool.
Because like we did that for like the language classes. Like generally there was like a food day, at least for German.
Well, yeah.
That's for like World Language Week.
Yeah, that's World Language Week.
And so like we had like everybody brought in like German desserts and stuff. Like there was a lot of German desserts because everybody was like, this is like the best kind of food. And there was like 2 or 3 like main course type meals. And it was like, no, everybody's bringing in desserts.
Yeah. Well,
I made Mexican chocolate cake. One kid ate like 5 or 6 slices.
So
which was I will never make that again because grating that much chocolate by hand is not fun.
I, in like 8th grade, had to take, well, I didn't have to. I chose to take a home ec class. And for our project, we made tacos. And like these weren't even, honestly, they weren't even good tacos that we made. Because like, we didn't drain the fat. Like, we didn't do anything correct, really. Because like, we were both nervous because like, the guy who had the idea about how to make the tacos in the first place transferred schools halfway through our like readying of the presentation. So we're both just me and the other guy sitting up there being like, we have no idea why we're doing this. We're just following that dude's instructions on how to do shit, and draining the fat wasn't on the list of instructions, so we were just like, whatever. And one kid was like infatuated with our tacos. He's like, oh, these are so awesome, these are so good. He's like, can I have a bunch of these? And like, because we made like a handful of them, like I think we made like 15, and like some of the people were like, we don't like them, blah blah blah.
That's a big handful. 15 seconds.
So anyway, he like is like, oh, because there were extras. He's like, can I have those? And we were like, well, we don't want them, obviously, because like we're all ashamed and like fucking and like lunch was coming up anyway because this was like second or third hour or some shit. And I was just like, whatever, you can have them. And people told me later, I was like, I assumed he just ate them. Like I didn't pay attention to him. People told me later that he just like had them in his locker. And like he like halfway through the day was like, I'm hungry again. He picked one out and just ate
That's
it.
weird.
That's disgusting.
He just left a taco sitting in his locker. Like
he left meat
on top of the fact that it was like greasing out from like the sides.
Oh,
like,
dude,
like it's nasty, dude. It's fucked up.
Just at the end of the year, it's like, hey bro, still got your taco? Just moldy pile of nasty.
Yeah, I know how to. I didn't need to take that class.
What, home ec?
Yeah.
I never really had the desire to, nor did I really like know it was a class. Like I was looking, like when I was signing up, I was looking for like a cooking or baking or something, but I didn't realize it was called like home ec. So I was like, I never like took it, and I never asked.
I think to be fair, it wasn't even home ec. It was called life skills. Like they also did stuff like they did cooking, but they also did presentations and like public speaking.
Well, the reason I didn't do,
I was in that classroom, and we did something else, like more with like money management and
there was that a
resume.
little bit too.
I did that one. It was like a money management, and you got to do like stocks and stuff.
I don't think we did stocks.
It might have been slightly different, but it was a money management type class.
We did stocks and econ.
We did that too, but it wasn't econ the class I took. Mine was an elective class. I don't remember exactly what the name was, but it was all about like managing money and finances and investing in stocks and.
We had to come up with a invention, and then do a project on it. Mine was a money tree.
Money tree.
I made a cool song about it too. Oh, I wonder where that video is.
No, I've got some good videos that need to go on YouTube of us way long ago.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
It's fine. Those can burn. I'll find them. I'll break them. Those don't need to exist.
Those need to exist. I just need to figure out a way to get them to exist.
I don't know. I think about like all the shit we used to do, and I'm just like, I think the humor is just at a different, not well, on top of age, like, just a different point in time.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like the humor is the same anymore. I feel like a lot of people don't receive humor the same. And I feel like a lot of the stuff we did would now just be like piss people off or be awkward.
Well, the humor that we were pretty much based off was like back when we were influenced by like Smosh and Bratz and Beretta.
Yeah,
and
like a very spazzy skit humor.
It was, and that was like the time for YouTube when it was kind of growing. But now it's kind of changed into, in my opinion, more like reformed humor, where like everybody kind of, like gaming has their section, like podcasting has theirs, like blah blah blah. Like everybody has kind of their section of humor. Whereas like before it was like home videos and everybody was trying to just like be out there, like totally random, totally spazzy, totally. But I still think it'd be funny just for reminiscing kind of sake.
I mean, if you want to reminisce, we can sit down and have some hot cocoa and watch. We don't gotta put it on YouTube and be like, ah, yes, these were the days.
We gotta watch and put on the embarrassing so then I can link it to Facebook and then embarrass all of you guys when we were the Centaur, the Knight, and the...
First off, it was the Sultan.
Sultan.
Fuck, I don't know. I don't even remember.
Sultan, Ninja, and Pirate, I think.
Yeah. Because, like, the shit... We put on a bunch of these, like, fucking outfits that his little sisters had for, like, Halloween. And, like, in the shadow, like, they looked all really cool. And then when you, like, come to us, it's, like, pink tutus and all these other things that we've got worn in various ways. And, like, floppy fake swords. And, like, I think one was just a wand that if you angled it right, looked like a hook hand almost. Like,
yeah.
It was just all... We just did it obnoxiously at night because we were hyper and kids. And now I'm just, like, throwing that tape.
Well, there's also the ninja ones too.
All the Go Ninja Go videos?
Yeah.
I think you posted some of those to
those never got posted.
Really?
They were supposed to, they never did.
Is that when you broke your camera? Because you dropped it or something?
Well, I had all the videos on tape, and then I never like got to a point where I didn't convert them over, so they're still on tape. I have about 6 tapes worth of video. I don't know what they all consist of, but... yeah.
All the videos that we took when we were younger, people would probably think we were drunk.
Oh, people would probably think
were
we're
not.
mentally ill.
I mean, we did air bomb wars and raptor fights.
Rapture or raptor?
Raptor.
Okay.
Did you scree?
Huh?
Did you scree?
I can. It's on Facebook. There is proof. We can.
Yeah, all of ours, like, I'd say only like a handful of them made up on actually YouTube. Compared to like the mass amount that we actually did.
The only one I really remember from YouTube, aside from the one you titled Retard, which got removed. Oh,
no, that's on there.
Oh, did it? I thought we got like in trouble for that. Right?
No, we just kind of got like a little no. But no,
I just remember the A1 steak sauce that like everyone laughed at and it was hilarious and awesome. And then like my parents were like, "There's a gun in that. Take it down. You're a kid." And I'm like, "It's an orange tip airsoft gun."
I was like, "This was the best video.
Like this was our YouTube fame and you ruined it, Mom."
We could have been the next Mom. Damn it, Mom. And then we re-put it back up and it got like less than 100. It's like,
To be fair, it was piggybacking a lot of the humor at the time, so...
It was, and it did really, like... The thing about YouTube back then was it wasn't as saturated. Now it's just saturated. I mean, you put a new video up, it's gone, like, within a couple hours.
People upload tons of stuff to YouTube. You just, like, re-upload stuff, and, like, then there are the accounts that will, like, capture something or download something that somebody made and just re-upload it themselves until they can notice it. And
well, like, the thing with, like, old YouTube is they used to have a, like, most recent uploaded, and stuff would stay up there for actually quite a bit.
Now that's just gone and gutted, and there's so many things that are gutted.
Oh, dude, you'd put something up on the recent, it's done.
Yeah. It's just not even there.
Yeah, that's what, like, also, DeFranco, he was talking about, he would like to have video responses come back, because video responses were a thing back then.
What do you mean video responses?
So, like, let's say you're listening to, like, a podcast, or, like, somebody playing a game, or somebody having, like, a conversation, like, trying to have a conversation with their audience, and you can actually make a video and post it as a response to the video, instead of, like, a comment.
Yeah.
And then like that kind of helped other people kind of get noticed, because if somebody had a clever or witty response or something, then it's like, oh, what else does this guy do? And it just kind of helps them.
Yeah, but YouTube isn't really like into the game of spreading out like who it's paying. You know, YouTube doesn't really want more people to pay. Like YouTube doesn't want to have more people like
getting paid.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like they don't really care about, like, they want the people who are big, because that brings a lot of traffic to YouTube for a specific purpose. But like a lot of diverted traffic is not a lot of traffic. Like I feel like YouTube would rather have one person with 1 million views than 10 people with 100,000.
Well, I think kind of how it works though is like a lot of the gamers, like they were, especially PewDiePie and Markiplier, they were saying like how the algorithm kind of works is like if you make a video over 10 minutes, like that's like in favor of YouTube, and that's what would do it. So it's not so much like YouTube controlling it, just if you know how to work the algorithm, then that kind of helps get your content out there. Like YouTube will either sponsor it or suggest it or put it up on the featured or whatever.
Right.
It definitely has changed a lot since the original idea when it came out, especially with like advertisements and people getting paid off of it. Like I think it went a long time with that advertisement stuff that people probably didn't know other people were getting paid off of it.
Yeah.
I think that's relatively like last 2 to 3 years.
Well, it has to maybe be sooner, a little longer than that, just because they don't. Like I remember watching Markiplier get famous and talk about like the changes in his life due to getting actually paid from YouTube, and because I watched him from like 200,000 subscribers up.
Okay.
Like, yeah, like I found him in his fucking infancy as a YouTuber. Like I really did, and it was just an interesting thing to actually watch the transition. And you know, he was getting paid obviously through that whole time, at least somewhat, because that was what he was doing. Like he had a part-time job, I think, at some point in his career, but it was full-time pretty much YouTube for a while. So,
or like remember when we used to go to the other park, and then there was that tree, and you guys like tried convincing me that, or I don't know if it was me, but it was like a story that a biker ran into the...
That's what Joey said, I think. I remember that because he was like... There was like a big red mark on the tree, and Joey was like, yeah, have you heard like the fairy tale that like a dude rode his bike through here and just like slammed into the tree and died, and now he haunts the woods or something? Like, it's just one of those things like kids are just making up on the spot, and you can tell, but like... it was like he said it to us at an age where both of us were like, no.
No.
Like, that's not true.
Well, then he like tried to take us over to that mound, and he's like, "This is like where he's buried."
Yeah,
it's just like, yeah, because like, this is where he's buried, a big old giant freaking mound. Like it wouldn't be in the ground at all; it'd be like on top of the ground, and they put dirt on him.
Indian burials.
Pretty much. Yeah, that was pretty much all of our videos. There's very few scripted ones, except for oh shit, what was it?
I don't remember the name, but it's the one with
Isaac
the pillows.
Young.
Isaac Young.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Oh, how do you not remember it? Oh, that was terrible.
I just remember the pillow one. That's the one that kills me to this day. Like, that was one we...
Oh, yeah.
That was a genuinely funny skit.
Oh my god, that was one of our best skits, and it pisses me off that I never actually got it on.
Like, that was actually funny. That was way too much effort, but it was so funny.
God, I almost want to
read Isaac Young. I don't remember anything about... Like, I know the name, but I don't remember any details at all.
Yeah, the Isaac Young, so that was when we had Jeremy, myself, and you. I don't know if we had another person with us or not, but... So it, like, started off is... I think it was Jeremy talking over it, and he was, like, trying to give, like, a dramatic... scene overlay, but he's walking through the snow, and you can hear just crunch, crunch, crunch. The audio is just picking up every little bit of it. And then he comes around, comes inside, and then this is the only one we had.
Was that the one where I was the bodyguard? And like, because I remember we did a thing where I was like the bodyguard for Jeremy, and Jeremy was like the villain, and you were like a secret agent. Was that?
I think it might have been, because like,
oh my god,
it was the only movie that we had scripted.
That was so bad.
It was terrible because then like we had like these weird camera angles where they were really like they were just too far away from where we were. And it was like Jeremy was trying to talk in a low voice and I was trying to talk like in like a low voice and he was like, "Oh my God, like how'd you get here?" It's like I'm back from the war or something like that. And it was, I was like, "I can't believe you survived." And it was like, "No thanks to you, dirty bastards," or something like that.
God.
And we had like a Nerf gun. I'm like,
yeah, there were a lot of Nerf guns. This is just props, of course. But like,
it was, but it was awful.
I think the one I also missed that was scripted was the sitcom where we used Brandon for like 6 minutes.
Oh my
That
God,
was actually really funny.
that was hilarious. Like, I bet you those are. Did we use the new camera or did we use the old camera?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, I wish I had that.
It was a surprising amount of like success with that one. I don't know. Every time we showed someone the sitcom one, they actually liked it.
It was great. It was
Silly.
It was almost like it legitimate, like better camera and more dialogue, but it could have been like a legitimate sitcom. Like
See, there
it
you
was,
go. That's your calling. You're just gotta go be a director.
like that was probably one of my favorite pieces that we did. That and the pillow one, but we could have tied that one into the sitcom if we wanted to continue with it.
It's true. He didn't like. I don't know. Like he captured the like silly lying part about Spider-Man, but I feel like the newest Spider-Man really captured the like prankster part.
Oh, the one that was in Civil War?
Yeah.
It's like I'm so mixed on him. I think I could like him. I need a movie with him just in it.
It's coming up.
Oh, it is? Like he's gonna be the main?
Yeah.
Like that specific guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
like
that.
Spider-Man Homecoming or something weird. It sounds like they're gonna skip the creation story though, which is kind of nice because to be honest.
Yeah, we don't need a third one.
Every time, like every time it starts, oh the spider and he gets bit, and we're like, yeah.
Yep.
There it goes. Bite. Yum yum.
I can't remember who it was, but it might have been Rooster Teeth. But one of the guys was just like so
Bernie.
mad
Bernie
about
like,
the Batman.
With the Batman.
Yeah, it was the Batman origin story. It's like if I have to go through another fucking Batman origin story again, I'm literally gonna like. He was like, I really like the creative take on a couple of them. He was like, I don't fucking care for another fucking Batman origin story.
I could believe that as Bernie. Bernie yells about a lot of really weird things on Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, he just got so mad about it, and I'm like, he's not wrong though. Like that's why I liked in Gotham. They kind of just like skimmed it. Like they didn't like go through. I mean, he's going through the process of the origin story, but they didn't like super focus on like the parents. Like it happened, and now he's just kind of going through the motions or whatever. But like yeah, I'm not huge on all the origin stories. Like putting them out there, getting them done once, sure, but like we don't gotta keep watching it because I feel like once the origin story is done, then like whatever you come up with after that, that's what shows like if it's gonna be continuing to be a good series. Because Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3, I felt like just started going downhill. Like Spider-Man 2 was okay.
I think it's just the paradox of any trilogy, really. Like every time I've seen a movie that comes in threes, like some sort of trilogy, it's always first one is usually the best, second one is the worst, and third is slightly better than the second, if not a little better.
But see, I felt like kind of the opposite with Captain America. Like I really liked.
What's the third of Captain America?
So I mean, it's Captain America: Civil War.
I mean,
it's
but it's really
more the Avengers, but it is Captain America: Civil War. But regardless, I liked the first one, but then I thought the second one was better.
You thought the second one was better than the first?
I did because it was the Winter Soldier, and I thought that was really cool. Like I really liked the.
I really liked his whole backstory.
I did like it, but I think that they did like either met par or did better with the Winter Soldier, just because there was. I don't know. It was an interesting story. Now, I don't really like Captain America as a superhero very much. Like the idea of him, because he's just strong and he has a shield. Like,
I mean, he's a little more than that, but yeah, I know what you mean. He's very basic.
Yeah,
I guess I would say.
But then the Captain America Civil War, like I thought that was a lot better than all the Avengers movies. I thought the Avengers movies were kind of just like, hey, they're all in the movie.
They just did weird
let's do something.
decisions in the Avengers movies. Like they spent a lot of time building up a lot of things that no one really gave a shit about in the Avengers movies. Like that is weird. Not a bad thing necessarily, but just I didn't ever watch Ultron. Actually, I should watch that. But
I didn't watch Ultron either.
What?
You did.
Age of Ultron. We never watched that one.
No.
We watched the first two Avengers, I believe. I didn't like the second one at all. Whatever it was, I don't even remember. I think it was when all the aliens like came down or something like that.
What are you on? What?
The second Avengers?
That's Ultron. The aliens coming down is the first one. Dingus.
Oh, Age of Ultron is the second one?
Yeah.
I thought that was the third one.
No, that's going to be whatever this Thanos one is.
Oh, okay. Then I've seen the second one. I thought that was the...
No, the robots are in the second one. It's Ultron.
Yeah, okay, well that one I didn't like. I thought like all the acting obviously was alright.
The acting's fine. It's just the story gets written in such a way that it gets rushed through really weird. Like,
yeah.
They try to cover a lot of stuff way too much, and they just...
That was the only gripe I had with Assassin's Creed.
There was a... For who? There was a lot of, like...
Oh, so you did go see it? Oh yeah, you seen it with Jessica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it, but there was, like... A really, like, the pacing, I actually complained about the exact thing.
Yeah.
The pacing made no sense by the end of the movie, because I was like, he's had one meal and been in the Animus 3 times. What day is this? Is this all in the same day? Like, did he get all of his training in one day? He went to his room twice.
Yeah.
Neither times you see him sleeping. And it was just like, I could not tell. Like, it was nothing bad exactly. It was just like, I could not tell if the movie was over a 24-hour period, basically, because that's how it felt.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of like weird setup. You didn't have a process of like a sense of time, and like the way that they did like the before scenes, like old time to like when his dad killed his mom, and then the current time. I felt it was just really weirdly done. Like it wasn't bad, but if you didn't have an idea of like what the show or what the movie was going to be about, it'd be kind of confusing to start up with.
I also had a personal gripe about the stupidity of the character, because like the woman takes him on a tour through the facility and is just like, we're looking for the apple of Eden and it'll help people stop being mindless like murderers, and then he's like, oh, that's weird, and then he goes to the cafe and like this dude sets an apple down next to him and he's like, don't let them take it, and then this other dude comes up and he's like, you're gonna give it away to them, and he's like, no, I'm gonna eat the apple, and he eats the apple, and I'm like, nobody's that dense.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a not even subtle hint. Like, that is the most obvious hint. And it's just like, how do you not understand what that person's saying?
Yeah. They did his character weird. Like, his character development was weird because it was... He didn't know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of acted like he knew what was going on. Then he had some like weird humor in it that he didn't normally have. Like
when he went insane for those like 6 minutes.
Well, that too, that was weird. But when he went insane, but then he was like, everybody's kept saying weird stuff to him, and he eventually, he was like, man, what the fuck's going on? Like he laughed. I'm like, but nowhere else has he laughed. I'm like, this is the only point in time where he laughed, and I was like, it's funny.
Yeah.
But it didn't make sense for his character. I was a little confused on it.
The whole thing was very odd, and like when you really look at it, I don't know. Because he's getting the chair in the first 6 seconds of the movie. Yeah. I was like, oh wow, he already killed his dad. That's interesting. And then he didn't, and I'm like, so why was he getting the chair? Who did he kill? He just murdered people? Like they never come back to it, and like
no.
I didn't understand why the director felt the need to make like the good and bad thing happen.
The good and bad?
Because I guess I never played Assassin's Creed 1, so maybe this was in it. But I don't understand why they had to make it so that, this is a front to prevent people from being like murderers. And we found out that like people who had assassins in their bloodline also tend to be violent. And like that was never a thing in the games. Like that was never like a front. It was basically just like, oh, we're historians almost. Is what it was more what it was about, and we're trying to figure out all we can about it. And then ta-da! No, it's a conspiracy. We're trying to prevent free will from being a thing.
Yeah, I don't remember the apple being a thing.
The apple's a thing later. It's not in the first game really.
Okay.
It's in the I think it's in Brotherhood or the second game.
Okay, so
because they do the big mind reveal in spoilers. They do a big mind reveal in the second game where like because you play as Ezio.
Yeah.
And like you go through him, and he fights like fisticuffs the Pope for some reason. Can't remember all the details. And like when he knocks out the Pope, like he goes into the chamber where the apple's supposedly at, and like this angelic thing meets him, and it's like this woman, and she's all like, oh, talking about all these crazy things about the apple, and she was like, you know, you'll find it soon, Desmond. And Ezio's all like, Desmond? Who the fuck is Desmond? And then Desmond wakes up from the end and it's like, what the fuck? That thing just addressed me from across time and space? What? And then, you know, cutscene. It's like a huge, like, what the fuck moment for the game.
So the movie did follow somewhat of, like, the games in terms of, like, the storyline. Like, they were like, the people doing the... investigating the past, like they were looking for the apple? Oh, okay.
They were Templars. Originally, they were Templars looking for the apple, because the apple controls free will.
Okay.
Or somehow. It's kind of weird. And then, the main character, Desmond, escapes with a couple people who were secretly assassins working for the Templars, and then they secretly go around trying to find the apple themselves, because they're like, oh, the last couple assassins in the world. It's kind of weird. Doesn't make a lot of sense, and it gets really convoluted once you like keep moving forward in the games, because like around Brotherhood was where I stopped like playing, and afterwards they just go to America and they do all these other things, and I'm like, how is this even making sense anymore?
That's why I always thought it was just like, I don't know, I thought it was just telling a backstory, not necessarily like there wasn't any agenda for it. I thought it was always just, because I played part of the second one, I played a little bit of the pirate one, and I think I played like just like 10 to 20 minutes of the very first one, like basically just through tutorial stuff. But yeah, I didn't get a sense of like what was going on, other than it was like, yeah, we're trying to figure out your past, and I thought the story was what was happening in the past, not necessarily current time.
I mean, it is like there's still shit going on in the past that is a story. It's just there's like this arching story across the whole thing,
which I thought the action scenes in Assassin's Creed was just amazing. I thought it was just the way that they progressed the story, the way that they tried to develop the characters and stuff was subpar. Like, parts of it felt like a B-class movie, and then other parts definitely felt like Hollywood-style movie.
I think the thing about the fight scenes that kind of... I was like very wishy-washy on them, because they were so... either really well done or shaky cam. Like there was like these nice panning shots where they were doing a lot of this cool choreography, and like there's nice stills, like frames of just the combat going well with slight camera angling so you can see the fight better. And then there was just like the couple where they're just like the camera's going nuts and like trying to follow the fucking pinky nail on this dude, so he's just like whipping it all over the place. I'm like, who enjoys that? Like, there was a couple times I was like, I'm gonna look away. Like, that's hurting my eyes.
I don't know. I never had that issue, but I mean, I can see what you're talking about. I mean, probably different camera angles, like different styles, but yeah, I didn't get a sense of like it being hard to watch by any means, I guess. But yeah, no, I like the action scenes, and I love the fact that the leap of faith. That they actually did like a leap of faith, like it was the highest free fall in like so many years or whatever. I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
it was like they're actually doing something different and good in a video game movie.
I will say the ending of that movie, without like revealing it, pissed me off, just because like the confrontation happens, and then you know. It passes, like, you know, the do what you need to do thing happens, and then it happens, and they're like, oh my god, how could that happen? And I'm just like, it's not like it was a mystery. You knew it was about to happen.
My question, though, is, like, if and when they're probably going to do a second one, are they continuing in real time, or are they going to somehow still try to bring it back to...
Yeah, because didn't they... I'm assuming it's busted, at least. Because he broke it.
When he did the leap of faith.
Yeah.
Or did he break it? Or no?
I thought he... Well, I mean, you've seen it, like, spark and freak out, and then, you know, all of a sudden he's not in it anymore. So I thought...
Not in what?
The machine. Like, he was just out of it. Like, that's when he was talking to everybody?
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't in the machine anymore. That's when I thought he broke out of it, because I thought he broke it, because the machine couldn't do the leap of faith. But I thought, my question is, though, is it going to be real time, or are they going to somehow try to get him back in the machine, or a new person?
They'll probably get him in a machine. I imagine it'll be a little mixture of both.
Because I feel like...
I think it's very weird. Sorry, facility of people who know how to use these assassin tools. Why don't we keep those just lying around?
Yeah.
Like in cases and stuff. And I'm like, that's never going to backfire.
Well, like, the thing I didn't understand is, like,
assassins aren't sneaky or anything.
You're allowing all of these people who are reliving these, and obviously, because they're reliving it and their bodies are going through the motions, that they are learning how to be assassins, and you just have them out chilling about, whatever. It's like, either send them home or keep them locked up.
The final, like, confrontation of them, I guess, cracked me up, though, because throughout the, like, movie in general, you see guards, obviously, but, like, the amount of guards in the final fight is, like, 40 times the amount of guards you ever see at any given point in the movie.
I was just thinking that, too.
I was just sitting there, I was like, everyone kept running, I'm like, okay, and I'm watching guards die, like, left and right, and I'm like, where the fuck are all these guards coming from? Like, there are so many.
It's like they just hired a bunch of people and was like, all right, now go. And
just they're just like taking resumes, go. Why? Just, there's a situation, just get in there. I just, like, couldn't figure it out. I was like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Like, you'd need a lot of guards to protect them all, sure, but there weren't that many throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, like in the cafeteria scenes and stuff, it was
like 4.
Yeah.
Maybe. It'd be like 1 or 2 almost.
It's like a handful, maybe at most. Like a guy at the door and a guy walking around.
And then in the final scene, there's just like 4 assassins surrounded by like an army of guards with nightsticks and shit. And I'm just like...
They were all just on break,
just all in the break room like, Jeremy doesn't need me today, Ricky's fine.
Jeremy again.
Jeremy's my go-to name. I don't know what it is.
All the other guards are just on call. Just, come on, guys, we got it. Here we are.
The other guard's like, I'm on call today. Ring, ring. Fuck.
We're calling all of them.
Bring your gun. There's a situation.
I got slightly excited when his dad, like, killed somebody. I was like, oh, he's back. And then he
gets roasted immediately. I was like, oh, his dad's going to help it. And then his dad gets taken out in 2 seconds. I was just like, fuck off, movie.
Cool.
Alright, well, now it's an hour after I said I was going to take off. So, as per usual, I have to say it again. I'm going to take off.
Alright.